That update. And now to some more stories. There are 244 Kenyans battling it out for the 51 slots available for Chief Administrative Secretaries after a court gave President Ruto green light to fill them, even as these men and women await their fate. There's a scarcity of information regarding the roles and functions of a Chief Cabinet Secretary in the ministry. Our reporter Henry Tende sat down with the Executive Director Uraia Trust, Oliver Waindi, to understand what is expected of them and files the following report.
The positions of Chief Administrative Secretaries were first formed by retired President Uhuru Kenyatta, key allies of the former president occupying majority of the slots available in various ministries. Constitutional experts have raised their concerns about the CAS posts, arguing they go against the structure of the constitution. However, the judiciary has set the record straight by ruling the positions are in order. In the face of the ruling, there are still questions about the exact roles and responsibilities men and women who will be appointed by the head of state will perform. Well, according to Oliver Waindi, Executive Director at Uraia Trust in Nairobi, there are no well-defined roles for CAS position.
Previously, we used to have a cabinet secretary, we used to have a minister and an assistant minister. Now we don't have that. No, we have an equivalent of a minister called cabinet secretary, but the assumption is that these people will be assistant cabinet secretaries, basically speaking.
He describes CAS role as assistant to the cabinet secretary, just the way assistant ministers were to ministers in the old constitution dispensation. As debate rages on whether or not as a country we need the chief administrative secretaries in ministry already filled with cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries, Waindi says the office of CAS only serves to reward political loyalists to the sitting president.
We've got, what, 8 or 10 former governors? And you ask yourself, why would a former governor come down to compete for a position like a CAS? So it tells you that probably they're not meant for you and I, that is the assumption, because these are people who have built their names in politics, and they're possibly comprising more than 50 or 60% of the list. So it tells you, obviously, that this thing is much more political than you would imagine your ordinary shortlisting taking place.
Waindi additionally says the posts are a unnecessary burden to the taxpayer and only serves to strain the national budget.
There is suspicion on one hand that maybe we have a system overload when it comes to people in various ministries, and the fewer would have been the better. When we have them that big in terms of numbers, obviously it drains our resources as a country, because a CS is just one person, but he comes with an entire office. We talk about security, we talk about office assistants, we talk about a fleet of vehicles, we talk about his pension or her pension, and so we are looking at wholesomely a very big figure from one person. If you consider that in this context of the economy that we are grappling with, then I would say it's probably unnecessary.
Nonetheless, Waindi has advised those who will be given the mandate to fill available slots to work for the development of the nation.
We just don't want people in offices. We want people in offices who produce results, because our country is yearning for some very positive and very forward-looking results insofar as the performance of these people are concerned.
Only time will tell whether they took his advice seriously or not. Henry Tende, Look Up TV.